G'day viewers and welcome back. Welcome if it's the first time here. Going to take a bit of a sideline today and focus on this thing here. This is my daughter's car. It is a 2012 Holden Cruze. Not to be confused with Chevy Cruze. They are similar but not exactly the same. Most notable difference is, well, steering wheel's on that side, the right side. I'll let you figure out whether I mean right as opposed to wrong or right as opposed to left. Anyway, little backstory. Sitting at home one Saturday afternoon about a month ago, and I see this pull up in my driveway. I'm like, okay. And then I heard it, and it's clank, 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 all the way up the driveway, and I'm like, that's not good. So, shut outside, heard it, and shut that thing down right now, and then tell me what happened. And turns out, she was driving along, and all of a sudden the engine light came on. An overheat light, low coolant light, whatever it is, I don't know, I didn't see it, came on the dash, and engine shut down. I'm like, well, obviously you've overheated it. So, let it sit for a while, then come out and had a look, and the overflow tank, well, it was empty, there was nothing in it. I'm like, okay, let's see how much is missing out of that, and thinking, well, obviously it's leaking. I'm not going to waste coolant topping it up just for it to run back out again. So I just got some water and started filling it up. And, well, it filled up and immediately started purging itself. Not through that. Cap wasn't on. My engine had cooled, wasn't running. But these things, you notice this pipe, this hose here, and it runs from the thermostat housing up across and down onto the throttle body down there. But it didn't look like that. It was just this flimsy little thin plastic tube. Oh, that's a hang on, wait, that's a coolant hose? Coolant line? That's no. And anyway, I didn't take much notice of it at first until it started gushing water out of about here. And it wasn't just trickling, it was gushing out. Oh, well, there's your problem. So, I set about repairing that. Rang the dealer, Holden. And for this tube, as I said, runs from here, down on the thermostat, back here, across, and then down onto the throttle body. $90. No, I'm not doing that. So, local parts store, grabbed, this is actually fuel line because it's the only 1/4 inch hose they had. Not sure whether that's going to be the best because fuel line's not designed for heat because fuel is naturally cold. So that might last, it might not. Well, who knows at this point. But the bottom line is that was a lot cheaper than the $90 hose they wanted to sell me. So that worked alright, that was okay. She didn't, fortunately, do any permanent damage to the engine. It was running fine. But then, a couple of days later, she rang me and said, it's overheating again. Okay, well, obviously, it's leaking again. So I went and had a look, and again, filled it up, and it was dripping from here. This is the heater core. It goes through the firewall into the cabin of the car. You turn your fan on, blows hot air through. But that circulates through from the overflow tank, the reservoir tank, down into one side, back out, and then back up here into the thermostat. It was leaking down there, and it was leaking back up here where this hose connects back in. Now I've used the original connector. That's the one that came on the car, and in doing my research I have found out that on the bottom of these they tend to break. I've checked that. Now honestly, these, I've actually taken this apart and just put it back together just to show you guys this. So this is just going to fall out. They break just here. The reason they break just there is because that's an O-ring just there. Now that's the O-ring, that's the new O-ring on it. I've already, as I said, I've already taken it apart, been to the parts store, chased up the O-rings. After doing extensive research, which yielded pretty much nothing, but let's see if we can have a look at this. That's the original O-ring that came off it, and if you have a look at that side, it's kind of toasty. So it's no wonder that was leaking. We'll come back to that in a sec. But then, obviously, I had to get these ones off the heater cord. Now, these are pretty easy to get off. As you can see on this one, there's a two-prong clip that goes down around the outside and clips on over a flange on the heater core inlet, outlet, whichever one it is. I'll just take that off, and this one was really easy to get off. Just had to pull that clip up, just get a screwdriver under it, lift it, pull it up, and pop, it comes off. And that's kind of decent condition. It's got a little bit of gunge on it, but it's not bad. This one, however, different story. This took a while to get off because it's got more gunge on it. Maybe it was the other way around. No, this one was the difficult one. That was the easy one. Again, reason for that. Let me just dig into my pocket here. That was the better one of the two. But that top one, yeah, it kind of looks like that. Again, a bit toasty. So, no wonder it was leaking. However, I didn't realise that straight away. As I said, there's a lot of guns around that, and I kind of suspected just looking at them. You know, experience kind of tells you this stuff. I kind of suspected there's going to be some sort of seal in there. So I pulled them out, and sure enough, in there is a drop flange there, down there, for an O-ring. These have an O-ring seal in them. Now, here comes the fun part. Holden, General Motors, nobody will release information into the O-rings. The obvious, the consistency of them, the manufacturing of them. The main reason for that is, well, they don't want you to just buy a $2 to $5 O-ring. They want you to buy, well, this one, this hose that goes from the core down to the thermostat, that's $48. That's the cheap one. The other one that goes, again, from the core up to the reservoir tank, that's $80. That's $130 for two hoses. Are you for real? So, I did a bit of digging around and tried to research on the net. As I said, very little information as into the O-rings themselves, apart from the size. No one at all, anyone I contacted, aftermarket parts, genuine parts, nobody could tell me anything about the O-rings in those. So I started thinking to myself, doesn't matter how big the manufacturer, even Lamborghini and Ferrari, they are not going to go out of their way and spend big money manufacturing a bunch of O-rings. That's just not worth their time or money. So if big companies like that aren't going to do it, why would General Motors? Why would Chevy? Why would Holden? So I came to the conclusion that these O-rings are just normal O-rings. If they're not, I'm pretty sure we'll find out in short order. So the hardest part of this job, in my opinion, is actually replacing the actual O-rings. Now, I can show you, they sit in there. There's a groove there. That's where they sit. The hardest part is actually getting them out. You've got to get a little pick in there and lift them out. Try not to, it's not going to drop down inside the hose, but yeah, once you get it out of the groove, you then got to pull it up without it dropping back into the groove. I've obviously managed to do that on all three. Now we just got to do a bit of cleaning. As you can see, it's a bit sort of gungy in there. So in here I'm going to clean just with a wax and grease remover, because the only other thing I'll have is thinners, and I don't want to risk that on this material. So we're just going to clean that with wax and grease. These down here I can clean with thinners because, well, they're either steel or brass. They're more than likely steel. And you want to get all that muck off there anyway. So you need something a bit harder. So on them, I'm going to use thinners on a bit of steel wool, and on these in here, I'm just going to use wax and grease remover on a rag. I'll go ahead and do that. I'll be pretty liberal with this. No, that's not clean, it's just wet. Get right in. See if you can get into the groove as well. It's not easy. You may need a pick or something. There's that screwdriver in the pocket. Get that. And I just dropped the screwdriver. There it is. Zoom out a bit. Alright. Get that on the end of a screwdriver like that. Stick it in there. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to clean the top end of that groove, and it's starting to get a bit windy. Seriously, the weather here doesn't know what it wants to do. It's windy, it's rainy, it's not. It's definitely not sunny, and it's definitely not warm. I think that's about as good as I'm going to get that. Move on to the other one. Yeah, that's kind of grimy too. Shelf down there, that step into that groove. That kind of looks okay. You gotta expect it's going to be a bit icky, but you know, it's had coolant running through it for what, 120,000 Ks. You're not going to get it spotless, and it's gonna be gungy. All right, let's get on to these guys. on that. There we go. That's looking good. The other one, which you guys can't see, and I can't get the camera in there, but it's really, yeah, it doesn't look good. Like I said, the only reason these blew out is because my daughter drove the car really hot. If she'd left it off when it cut off, these probably would have been alright, but she was like 2 k's away, and she drove it to here while it was steaming hot. Got most of the muck off. I'm just going to go back in with the wax and grease remover on the rag, just to give them a final clean up and get all that gunge off. It softened up with the thinners when all over my fingers, but that's just getting rid of it all. And that looks like it's about as good as it's going to get. Well, here comes the easy part. Putting it back together. That's always the easy bit, isn't it? No. Pulling it apart's usually the easy bit, because you just rip, tear, boom. It's when you go to put everything back together, you, where'd that go? Anyhow, we have our O-ring. You want just a little smear of grease, just to make sure it seals. And you just sort of butter it up, smother it. There goes the clip. Awesome. Moving on. Put that in there. And with a bit of manipulation, here it goes. It will go into that groove. I'm doing this by, there we go, that's in. That one's in. The other one. Again, a little smear of grease. Just smother that all over. Then, when you're feeding it in, don't try to get it in the groove straight away. You're not going to. Just get it in the proximity. And just finagle around with it, and it'll eventually just pop into place. That's one side in the groove. See, I'm having a lot of trouble because it's already in the groove. Come on, get in there. No, it's not. It's popped out. It's sitting down on the shelf. Let's try that again. Take 2. Okay, take that back. Get one part into the groove, and the rest of it should follow. There you go, that's in. Now, we can put this one back on because the clip's there. The clip for that one, it's down there somewhere. So, let's go. Pop! That one's on. Give me a minute to retrieve that clip. I'll be back. We will find out if that's right in. just a second when we try to put this clip on. If that doesn't go on properly, well, no, it's not in properly. And that didn't go on, clearly. Let's go in there. It's not clipping in. Why not? Am I in the wrong spot? Yes, I am. There we go. That's not in. Have to finagle that. Get it in. Resist the urge to hit it with a hammer, because that'll just do more damage. Yeah, that pinched. That's what I thought it'd do. It's pinching the O-ring. Oh, hang on. That looks good. That should be in. That goes in that slot there. Should be clipped down over that. That's got it. Alright. Just got to refit a couple of hose clamps and we'll be done. Right. Sorry, my arm's in the way. I'll do that. This clamp down here, that's off. Nearly got it. Ah, bugger. Come on, get on there. Ah, yup. I get it, and then it slips. There we go. That's got it. Okay, to start off with, I'm just going to be filling it with water. Because, well, if it's going to spew its guts everywhere, I don't want it spewing it coolant all over the ground. It spews water all over the ground. Well, who cares? It'll dry. And then, if it doesn't hold, that way I can just drain it out. If it does hold, well, I can just drain some out and mix in some coolant. That'll work. Bubble anymore? No, it doesn't look like it. Well, so far so good. Let's get some tools off. Judging by the amount of water I just put into it, it probably more than likely has a lot of coolant left in it anyway. Unless over time it's just cycled itself out. We'll find out in a few minutes. Slowly purging itself. There we go. Whoop, whoop. Every now and then it just whoop. There we go. Been running for a few minutes, and seen any leaks yet. Okay, it's not up to operating temp yet. It'll get there. Well, it's almost up to temp. The fan hasn't cycled yet. But let's check this. That's cold. It's on full heat. Full blast. And it's blowing cold air. I'm confused. Maybe it just needs to cycle through a couple of times. Oh, you would think it'd be fine by now. Obviously not. But I'm not seeing any leaks. Those injectors are really noisy, and yes, it's the injectors. Doesn't appear to be leaking. Water's turning green. Nah. That'll take a while yet, but we'll get there. That tells me it's cycling through the system, because you saw me put water in there and now it's green. There's still coolant at the bottom end of the engine. It's now mixing in. That's a good sign, and I'm not seeing it come out anywhere. So for now, I'm going to call that a win. Hold a minute. Where's that coming from? Well, the hoses aren't leaking. Well, not repair, but I think something is. Okay, so after a little investigating, I've determined that it's down there somewhere. Down there. Down there, there it is. Down there. That's old. It's congealed and just sitting there. But that, not so much. You can see it's running down here. And sitting, collecting here. I've got a rag. Wipe that away. Fan just kicked in. That took a while. But wipe that away there. That's fine. There we go. So that's coming from up here somewhere. I'll have to get in and have a look, see what's there. But having said that, the problem we had to fix. There we go. Is in now. Yeah. The problems we had to fix, well, they kind of look fixed. They're not leaking. Call that a win. And look for where that's coming from. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps someone. Leave a comment, like, share, definitely subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.